Welcome to another edition of Len's Burning Bush. I am Len Harvey. Before I bring on my guest for the week, I want to talk about what's really burning my bush. Now, backordered seems to be vocabulary that every company uses at one time or another. But it also seems in the last year or so, especially since the pandemic, it's beginning to be used a lot more. We are always told that no news used to also mean good news. But now I'm going to go through this and I'm going to tell you that's not always the case because it's just a way for companies to get out of telling you bad news. Now, during the last year, I've been going to the dermatologist a little bit more frequently. They always find something, right? And they always tell me when they remove a mole, if you don't hear from us, that's good news. Yeah. You know why that's good news? Because there's no cancer. Obviously, that's good news. You don't have to hear from them. But lately, the reason I bring this up, because everything I try to get, it seems like I eventually get told, that's a key word here, I eventually get told it's on back order. Now, you've heard my car experience if you've listened to some of the older episodes back in the first part of this year through May, or I was trying to buy a bike. I can never get anything now. So I want to share two most recent examples. The first one happened back in May. Now, my grill burner was having some issues. I love to grill, and I grill all the time. And I called the company that I bought the grill from, and they started the warranty claim because it was 4 years, but they're covered for 10. And it said it was approved, and I'd be getting a replacement burner in the next week or so. Yes. I don't know which week, but the next week or so. So I waited, and then I received a call. They said they shipped them the wrong part, and they were going to expedite. I guess they don't know what that really means, but the word expedite, the new part to me. Then what happened after is what really, really burns my bush. It's the radio silence. Never heard back. I then emailed them in June, and they said it should be any day. Of course, they didn't mention which day, but any day. Then again, radio silence. I actually kind of forgot about it after a while, as the grill does still work, but one day I actually remembered it in July and sent another email. I've been waiting since May. WTF? Do you have any news for me? I then got the wonderful response that we love to hear. The manufacturer says it's on back order till November. Ugh, really? Now you tell me that? So again, I understand that things happen, but why can't I get a call from the company and apologize and say, sir, your part's on back order. Maybe they can offer me something, but just tell me what is going on. I am an adult. I can handle this stuff. Of course, I brought this up before, and good customer service, it doesn't seem to exist anymore. And they were hoping I would eventually forget about it, which I almost did. But is this the way to run things now? So I guess I have to wait till November for the part to arrive, as I have no choice in the matter. So I'm going to go over example number 2 that I brought up. So I brought up many times during my podcast that I started riding motorcycles. And I recently got myself a new bike, and I wanted to get a new jacket that would match the company's bike that I was riding. So I went to the dealership and looked around. I found one I liked, but of course size was an issue. Yes, size is an issue, as my corporation has expanded very nicely. And when large would usually fit, it's a little bit tight. So of course extra large was not in stock. So as I went there, I had to order it. She said, no worries, it'll be here, right? It'll get ordered. I said, again, why do I go to the store? I like to actually bring things home that day. That's why. And not to order it, as I could have done that myself online. Well, I gave them the benefit of the doubt, as they said it'll be here in a few days. Famous last words, right? So I had ordered this on a Friday, hadn't heard anything by Wednesday, so I called. They told me they just got a shipment in and they would check for my jacket and call me. Well, of course, didn't get a call on Wednesday, Thursday. It was now Friday. I called back, and they checked in the system, and they said that now my jacket is back ordered. Oh, back ordered until when? Yes, you guessed it, November. Oh, why no call, though? That's the thing. It's not even the fact that it's coming in November, but isn't no news supposed to be good news? I should have gotten a call that said, we are sorry, but your jacket's not available and will be available in November. Would you like to wait? Or do you want your money back? Because, I already got the bill from the credit card company, and it's due in 30 days, So they'll have my money for more than 90 days if I choose to wait. Now, is that fair? No. But why, again, no call? What is wrong with keeping people updated? I had the same experience when we ordered our car. They don't let you know what's going on. If you follow early episodes this year, you know what that's like. But communication, it should be easy now. A text, a quick phone call. I know I should be aware. I should be aware how challenging inventory is these days, and I get it. But it continues to amaze me how companies obviously do not care one bit about you. So the next time someone says no news is good news, well, sometimes it can be bad when you don't get any news at all. When people don't want to actually tell you what's going on, and you have to call them to find out you're on back order. With that being said, it's time to bring on my guest for the week. She is a veteran New York City traffic reporter, appears regularly on TV and radio. She's making her second appearance on the show. Please welcome the very talented and lovely Heather O'Rourke. Heather, I'm sorry I went on a little bit long on that one, but it has to be said. What is wrong with just calling me?
Well, first of all, customer service is horrible all around, I find lately. And the same thing, it's funny that you bring this up. Yesterday, my son's screen was supposed to be replaced on his phone. And we had an appointment, and they were coming between 1 and 3, of course, 2-hour window, really.
The cable company.
Between 1, So 1 and 3, nobody shows up. And then my husband gets in touch with them, and they were like, oh, yeah, well, your appointment was canceled because we don't have the part to replace the screen. The company is a phone screen replacement company. We pay extra money for this service, and you don't have any screens. That's what you do. Yeah. You're supposed to replace screens. So he called. He's speaking to somebody in customer service. The woman just puts him on hold, transfers him to somebody else, doesn't even say, I'm transferring you, sir. And it was this whole thing was going on. They were going to mail out another phone, blah, blah, blah. We were going to get another appointment, whatever. He fought them tooth and nail, got a brand new phone yesterday.
Well, you have to, that's the thing, but they wouldn't have had to do that if they just called you in the beginning,
yes.
Right? That's my argument.
If he would have just called my husband at 1 o'clock and said, sir, I ran out of screens. It was a bad day. I'm not going to be there. So let's set up another appointment. But customer service, I don't know what it is. Are they not training these people properly? Do they not have the manpower to communicate? Or are they afraid? Are they afraid if they do communicate this information to you about your jacket or your grill piece, are you just going to give up on them and give them a horrible review or just go out and buy a new grill? You know what I'm saying?
But getting back to the cancer reference, if you leave cancer untreated, it will stay there. It will never go away, right? Is that, yes, I mean, this is why I get angry at this stuff, because I don't understand. Now, I will bring up a good experience I had, or at least somewhat of a good experience, not totally good, but we had a problem with our Sleep Number bed. And Susan was sinking in her bed at night. Of course, it was her side, not mine. So why do I care, right? Exactly.
Right, exactly.
But anyway, Susan was sinking. My wife was sinking in the bed. And so I called them up, and we did the test that they told us to do. You got to plug up the air. You do this, whatever, magical things. And sure enough, it's the chamber of the air that comes in, whatever that is. So I called them on the phone. I called them back after we did the test. I said, it looks like it's the chamber. So they're going to ship me a new one. Blah, blah, blah. I scheduled a person to come out and actually fix it. But what aggravated me on that was that they, because that's why I said it wasn't perfect, is they made me, because it was 2 years and 5 months. Like you have a 2-year bumper to bumper kind of warranty. And then after that, it's like prorated, right? The old prorated. I love that, prorated. Yeah. So they go ahead and they give me, you got to pay this for the part, and you got to pay for somebody to come out. So, whatever, it was like $200 to come out, whatever. But luckily, we got the part within, it came literally, I called on Wednesday, it got there Friday. So we had it within a day, which was amazing. Mm-hmm. This day and age to get anything. We're supposed to be advanced technology-wise, where Amazon's looking to do same day. I will take the next day. I mean, any day is better than what we're getting, right? Because, yeah,
Exactly.
so we finally got it. And meanwhile, we actually hooked it up and it's working. So maybe I don't need the professional services. But again, you have to keep that appointment because if you don't, they'll cancel you like they did with you, and they don't even tell you that they're. I had that happen previously with another with a bed problem with the actual frame that we got a guy coming out, and he doesn't bring the parts. He says, "Did you get a part delivery?" I'm like, "No, isn't that your job?" Like, why?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel for you because this is the stuff which I don't get. This is the easy stuff that you can fix. You can't fix the fact that you don't have the part, but you could fix the letting them know and just
Right.
being upfront and honest with the person on the other end that says, look, I'm a person. You have an appointment at 1 o'clock. At 11 o'clock, you call and say, look, we were unable to locate the part. I know you've got an appointment at 1. We cannot make that appointment, but let's reschedule another appointment for a day that fits you. We should get the part in 4 to 6 days. And I apologize for that. And with that being said, I'll give you a credit for, whatever. Something because to me, the solution, if you have a solution, that's as good for me as anything else. That's all I want.
Exactly. Yep. And in this day and age, as you had mentioned before, communication is so much easier now than it was 30, 40 years ago. Why is it so hard to communicate when there's so many different pathways to communicate?
I don't know. I think everybody's
Like
just
you said.
afraid. Yeah, they're afraid. I mean, we used to be afraid of rejection. I don't know if we're afraid of actually dealing with the root of the problem, but it's easy when you know how to fix the problem. It's just being nice and just taking care of the person. Don't ghost them. Like, that's what it is. They're basically, you're going out on dates now. People are ghosting people. That's not good.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So
your grill company basically
ghosted
you.
Yeah, that's what happened.
And your
Yeah.
jacket.
Jacket is
But
going
in
to be ghosted.
November, yeah, but in November, you never know. You might be grilling wearing your jacket.
Well, exactly, but I won't be able to ride too much with the damn jacket because November starts getting colder, and who the hell wants to go out in the cold, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
I give up. I really do because I try. I try to be, this is the type of stuff where I try to have my blood pressure is always good, which is a wonderful thing because I have this show and it lets me get all the things that aggravate me out. So I let it out, right? So this is the type of stuff that you would think that I'm trying to be, calmer. And, it's the old honeymooners thing, pins and needles and pins. It's a happy man that grins. And what am I mad about, right? That's why I do this show. Like, what am I mad about?
Yeah.
But I'm still angry. I'm still angry at the fact that my jacket's not coming in November. And I know this is first world problems, but keep in mind, they have my money. They took the money. You know how to take the reservation. You just don't know how to keep the reservation, right? Don't take my money then. Just order it and let me know when it comes in and I'll pay you. But that's the thing now. Companies don't do that anymore. They want their money.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
We have to hold up our end of the deal. We have to hold up our end, but they don't have to hold up their end.
It's very frustrating. And like I said, I'm going to go there today, and I hopefully will get some kind of justice to get my jacket because I like to go to the store. I am one of the old school people that still like to go to the actual store or dealership or whatever. I like to look at fancy, shiny things. I just love that. Best Buy is like a field trip for me. But you know what I'm saying? But I enjoy that, and I don't understand. It's like I like to take it home. I don't know where Amazon and all these companies that think that they're going to fix everything by getting it delivered because, again, Heather, if your internet was down today and your husband needed to go to fix the router, let's say the router was busted, which I'm not going to get too technical for you, but if the router is not working, you're not going to get any Wi-Fi. Hence, you would be angry. So it's Saturday. What are you doing? You get on Amazon and you order. Well, you can't order because your internet's down. But anyway, but even if you could, you get on your phone and you order this particular product, you order it and you say, okay, when am I getting it? The soonest you're going to get it is probably Tuesday. Because don't give me this that it's coming Monday, because BS. That's BS.
Right.
So are you going to wait until Tuesday to get your internet? So to me, I think we're going backwards. Like I would want to go to the store, go to Best Buy, pick it up and have it up and running within an hour. That's what I want. And I'm not going to get that from Amazon. I'm sorry.
Right. Yeah, and then you're going to get to Best Buy, and there's a possibility that your part's not there.
That's the other problem. You try to get the part, and they always
Yeah.
tell you, well, I can't carry every part, but you go to Home Depot, and they have 150 damn ceiling fans. Different
Right,
ones,
yes.
right? They don't have the part that you want, but they have the
Right,
ceiling
right.
fans. If you need a
They
ceiling
do.
fan, oh, this is just crazy. But anyway, last week I did an episode with Cooper, and we talked about the Field of Dreams. And my field of dreams is baseball. I love baseball. And I actually did a little bit of a reference to the movie. And I had forgotten that they were doing the game a week later. They were doing the actual game in Iowa. You know, is this heaven? No, it's Iowa. And you did see
Right,
that
right.
movie, right?
I've seen the movie, yes.
All right, good.
100%,
And
yes.
it's a guy thing where we cry when you want to have a catch, Dad. It's like a whole,
Right.
it's a whole to do.
It's like Rudy. It's like the movie Rudy. Rudy.
Yeah, you could care less about that movie. You're 5'0", 100 and nothing.
I
and
loved Rudy.
oh,
Do not
all right,
stereotype.
all
Rudy
right.
was great.
Okay, awesome. But anyway, they had the movie. They had the game, Yankees and the White Sox, and the Field of Dreams, and they had a whole success. They actually drew the highest ratings in 16 years for Major League Baseball, which is great. I love baseball. Everybody always talks football. And I love baseball. I don't know. What are your thoughts? I was just at Yankee Stadium and Citi Field, and I just, nothing like going to a baseball game.
You know what? I really need to introduce you to my husband. He's
Yeah.
a huge baseball fan. Last night he was watching the Mets-Dodgers
Yeah,
game. He's
I
a
was
Dodger
too.
fan. He's a Dodger fan. But football, I think, is a little bit more exciting to watch. A lot of it more exciting to watch because you're basically with baseball, especially going to a game. I do like a low score, fast baseball game. I want to go. I want to watch it, but I don't want to sit there for extra innings and watching guys stand out on the field and waiting for something to happen.
All
I
right.
dabbled with playing a little softball when I was younger, and it was very boring. However, soccer was fun because you're just going and going and going and going, which is football.
All right. Well, I'm going to disagree with you wholeheartedly because I'm going to tell
You
you.
are
and,
allowed to.
And your husband
Okay.
is going to agree with me here. I did. You need
Okay.
to go back and let your husband listen to last week's episode. The episode with Cooper Lawrence. It was episode number 70. You're 71. But episode 70, we talked about how football, okay? This is football.
Yeah.
Your great sport that is so exciting and everything is going on and there's action, right?
Yeah.
11 minutes of action in an entire 3-hour game. That's all there is. Because the clock is always moving. They go back to the huddle.
Yeah.
They talk to each other. They grab each other. They come back. I mean, this is what football is. Now, granted, there's a couple of plays where you look back and there's, that long pass or, maybe the runner runs out. But think about it. A 30-yard run or even a 50-yard run is only going to be, maybe 6, 7, 8 seconds. That's the point I'm trying to make. Baseball is just, everybody just throws stuff on baseball. ESPN will talk about preseason football before they actually will get to the baseball game highlights. Like it used to be sports, you would lead with something. Of course, when it bleeds, it leads, but not ESPN. They would rather anything NFL. The NFL is like, it doesn't matter. Now, I love football to a degree. I mean, I do high school football. I'm a play-by-play announcer. I love it because it's exciting when you're doing it and when you're going through it. But why do you have to crap on baseball? Why can't we have both? Right? So tell your husband about that because I think,
will.
Yeah, because again, you're getting me all.
I'm going to have him listen to this episode of Len's Burning Bush.
You gotta listen to Len's Burning Bush. Anyway. So we all have, I would say, great relationships with our parents to a degree, but we. There's times when you disagree with your parents, right? I would say we all do.
Yes,
Yeah, we have.
yeah.
I mean, my father's no longer with us. My mother and I, we butt heads all the time. I can't get her to eat. She's losing weight. The whole thing. Anyway, that's not why I'm bringing this up. I'm bringing this up because Quentin Tarantino. I don't know if you saw this or read this, but apparently his mom was not very supportive growing up with his whole directing and movies and all this stuff. So you know what he's doing? I don't know if you saw this, but he has stuck to a promise he made when he was 12 years old and said he is never sharing his fortune with his mother. Ever. So no house, no cars, no nothing. He basically, he's never giving no money. He vowed never to give money from his movie career to her. he shared on a story in a recent episode of the Moment podcast, hosted by Billions
gosh.
co-creator Brian Koppelman. But yeah, he was looking back at the moment where his mom reprimanded him for writing screenplays in school. So I guess she wasn't very supportive, during the whole time. My mom had always had a hard time about my scholastic non-ability. And, talk about carrying a grudge. Man.
Really?
No money.
Wow,
You
that
get.
is I mean, how
nothing.
much money does that man have?
Oh,
Did they mention that in the article?
I don't know, but he's probably close to mega millions. I wouldn't say he's a billionaire, but he's probably hundreds of millions of dollars, I would imagine, that Quentin Tarantino.
If we gave her $2 million, it would be like giving our parents $200.
Right. And just from Pulp Fiction alone, he could have done that. But, it's just amazing. Talk about carrying a grudge. So there'll be
serious grudge.
It's kind of like the Soup Nazi. There'll be no house for you and no vacation for you, no Elvis Cadillac. None of that is happening for Quentin Tarantino's mom. So
I can't even imagine if my kid did that to me. I mean, you know what you do? She could have been a little nervous at writing screenplays. The chance that you're going to become Quentin Tarantino of who he is now, back then she couldn't predict this, so she was a little nervous. So you got to give your mom a break, man. I mean, I don't know how she was, if she was a mean person on top of it, or if he's leaving out some important points of this, but that's a big deal. That's bad.
Well, see, this is what I didn't like in the article. It said Tarantino actually replied with, "There are consequences for your words as you deal with your children. Remember, there are consequences for your sarcastic tone about what's meaningful to them." Well, I guess I'm not getting a penny from my kids either.
I know. I was just thinking about
we're not
the situation that happened a couple of hours ago.
Yeah, we're from Jersey, and I got to be honest with you, there is no way I'm getting a penny from my kids.
No,
matter of fact, they're probably. I mean, it was a funny story, so I'll bring it up. My son and I we talked about the Yankees and Citi Field. So I took him to restaurants. We went all over the place, and my son has some money. He's got a little bit. I mean, he's doing okay. Let's put it that way. He's not Quentin Tarantino. But not once, Heather, did he open up and say, "Dad, you know what? I want to take care of dinner tonight." Not once. And what was even more funny, him and I share. I have a credit card that I gave him that we share. He's got his own credit card too, but that was how I started the kids. I gave them a Amex to use. Same thing, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, we're at the hotel, and he made me. We walked everywhere, and I'm like, I'm dying over here. I didn't wear the right shoes. It's 23,000 steps. I'm like dying over here. My normal day is 3,000, and here I am doing 23,000 steps. So I'm dying, right? And it's hot. So we got back to the hotel. I said, get me I like a Snapple, raspberry iced tea, and some water. So go get it for me. So he goes and gets it, and then I find out he puts it on the card that we share, and not even the card.
Oh my God.
Not even the card that is his. So I know who's paying for that.
21 years old?
Yes.
He's 21?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Give me his phone number.
Yes.
He needs a little talking to.
I know. It's terrible. So I just want you to know that I'm getting nothing. I'm basically,
Yeah,
the only thing I'm good for is, Dad, what's the password to Netflix? What's the password to, he had me sign up for Disney Plus and ESPN, whatever, so that he could watch like some show, whatever he was watching. And of course, no money's coming in. I have to fight to get him. He pays his Amex bill, but it's like he goes over that thing. See, I taught him way too well. He goes over that bill like nobody's business, and he'll see like a $7 charge at Kroger, which is our grocery store here. And he's like, "Well, I didn't go. I had to go for you guys because I don't go to Kroger." You know what I mean? So sometimes I'll have him go, and they'll do it. So this is what I'm dealing with.
Oh my gosh! So I don't know about that.
Yeah, he's rough. He's rough.
That's
you got to love that
rough.
that he's very frugal with his money, which is great.
So next time he comes over for dinner, why don't you just give him right out salad, $2,
absolutely,
bowl of soup, $3, and hand him a bill.
Absolutely, that's what I want to do. So he still lives at home technically. So he's going to doing Air Force stuff this weekend. But anyway, that's just what I deal with. So I thought the Quentin Tarantino story was interesting, but I'm headed down that same path. I think that I'm not
direction.
Getting, so if my son makes it and he's not giving me a dime, so.
Right.
That's kind of what it comes to. But that's why you got to have your own money, right? The mother's got to have her own money.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
throw
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
freaking
And you
bone
need
here.
some sponsorships for Len's Burning Bush, I think, too. Will help out a little bit.
I
Since your
do.
son is like,
I do. I got to pay for Jenna's college, and it's like, can you please put a sponsor? I thought Prilosec OTC would be a great sponsor. You know, if your GERD is burning, please listen to Len's
right.
Burning Bush and Prilosec OTC. Right? That would be the best.
Perfect. Perfect.
Look at
And
that.
I kind of think you may need some Prilosec after a
I
while with
I
some of your
I
conversations.
I already take it. I already take it. I will take something of that road. So it doesn't
Right.
help, Heather. Please help me here. It's just I don't know. This is why I do this. This is my therapy. This is
I can tell, yeah.
It's a therapy session every week, and I get to interview great people like yourself. You know, you're amazing. You do all this stuff. You're on TV, and that's got to be like a pain in the ass though too, because in the mornings to get ready with the whole you guys, I don't know how you do it. Women in general, getting ready with the makeup and every day. There's a comedian, Tom Popeye, talked about this last week. And he talks about the people putting all this paint in your bag. Like you carry around all this stuff, and you basically paint the same face every day.
Every day.
Every
Yes. Well, I'm very lucky because I have someone else who paints my face and someone else who does my hair Monday through Friday. And you and I can see each other right now, so you can see that there was no painting and no hair going on today.
But see, I like that better. I actually like when people are real. I don't need, I mean, I would imagine your husband feels the same way. We know what you look like, and putting on the
Yeah.
fake show doesn't make me feel any, I like, we know that this is
Natural.
what you look like naturally, and we
Right.
like the natural better. So
Right.
that's, I think the
But
makeup
not when
is
you're
over.
on camera. When you are on camera, you do not want to see what we look like
No.
without makeup.
No.
Trust me.
Well, I understand that. And Cooper told me last week that women do not get dressed up and put makeup on for the man. They do it for
No.
their gay friends, their gay men. Because, girl, you need to make sure, that's the type
Yeah,
of stuff. This
because
is
you're going to get in trouble by
yeah,
somebody.
abs-
Someone's going to have a comment.
Absolutely. You don't want to have that comment.
What are you wearing?
So anyway, as I digress a little bit, I wanted to talk about what your thoughts were of the whole Jeopardy thing, being that they named Mike Richards the host, and Mayim Bialik is going to be the host of the nighttime version, I guess, and
Yeah,
she's going to do
yeah.
some other stuff. What are your thoughts? They went through all that. They went through
Yeah.
all these guest hosts, and they ended up with a guy that they could have announced that from the beginning, right?
Yes, they could.
I didn't like
But
that.
Mayim, perfect.
Oh, absolutely.
Love that choice. She's so smart. She's so funny. She's just this like amazing person that she's a neuroscientist,
I know,
right? She's
I know. She was Blossom, though.
come
She was
on.
Blossom.
Yeah,
Okay.
she was Blossom, and she's brilliant. She's so smart, and I really hope she's giving some of her money to her parents.
I would hope that would be the case. I'm sure she is. She's
Yeah.
Kanahara. She's doing it from the Jewish population, friends.
Yeah.
Mayim Bialik happens to be of the tribe, and I'm sure she does a mitzvah for her parents, and she gives
I
a little
hope
bit of
so.
something. Unfortunately, that's not coming our way all the time, Heather. I think we're going to be looking to do this, but good for her. I think it's great. I just didn't agree with the Richards one. There was so many other people that they could have picked, and he could have stayed as executive producer. But I guess he wants to be the guy, right? Everybody always wants to be the guy. But there was some stuff that had come out on him as well recently
Yes.
with the Me Too
Yeah.
movement, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah. I don't remember the exact circumstances, but yeah, there was some stuff that came out about
Something
it.
about The Price is Right or whatever, something he was doing about models. And I don't know. Why can't people shut their
Yeah.
mouths? Although I will
I know.
say that I think what people say 10 years ago or 15 years ago, I mean, people can change a little bit. It's like Matt
Yeah.
Damon is getting criticized now for coming out and talking about that he used a derogatory slur, back in the 70s, for gay people. And he said he learned from it and he doesn't ever use it again. So it's like we can never just have a learning experience. Right? It's always got to be something. And Bill Maher did a nice rant on that the cancel culture with Matt Damon is just, he's a nice guy. I mean, everybody, nobody's perfect, right? You and I are not perfect. We don't want to have a camera on us 24 hours a day. I mean, it's enough you do what you do, right?
Right.
It's crazy. It's just, I don't know. I can't even, do it. So you're still on TV, you're still on radio, you're still doing traffic, which is amazing after all these years. And of course, you're only 25, so you did it pretty
Yeah.
much from birth.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
traffic.
not on radio anymore.
Oh.
So I want to tell you, doing this with you is so exciting because I really, really miss radio. I
Yes.
love radio. Radio is my first love.
Yeah.
Really is. It's a moment to be able to open up. TV is a little bit more buttoned up. You have to stick to your TV news is very strict, your schedule, your time, and someone's in your ear telling you to wrap and be done. But with radio, you can just really just sit back and chill.
You're right, and I talked with Christina Lang, who came on, and she
Tina.
was like the original, traffic reporter back in the day, PLJ, and she worked from home and she did all that stuff. But what's nice about it is you hear this voice and you don't see the voice, and you're just like, you can imagine what they look like, but you don't know what they look like, and I think that's great. And that's what was kind of interesting when MTV just celebrated their 40th anniversary, not of course of all playing music. They're about 15 years of that. But anyway,
Right.
1981, MTV, and it was like video killed the radio star. It's
Yeah.
kind of that way. You always get back, but I kind of like it. And this is why everybody always tells me, Len, you got to do video on your show. And I'm like, to be honest with you, it's enough that I do this. I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't have no one wants to see me on camera for 30 minutes at a clip. I think we need to stop that. It's nice to do the radio. We have the conversation. You can hear us. You can imagine. And yeah, people look at pictures and they can see what you look like now. But I think you're right. I think radio, that's why I'm kicking and screaming to the video stuff. So,
Yeah. And then
Well-
you don't have to worry about what you look like. You don't have to get yourself all like
no.
dressed
why
up and whatever. And it's easier.
Well,
it's
you
a
didn't.
lot easier.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't put makeup on, and barely. I've got a ball cap on and look like hell. So it's all well and good, right?
We didn't even have to shower. if we didn't
No,
want to.
absolutely. Getting to that, I did brush my teeth though, but I'm sorry, but that's the funniest thing. But I love that you're willing to come on again, and the fact that. After 71 episodes now, that people want to come on the show and still want to do it on a weekly basis, it makes me feel good, and it's just having friends like you. It keeps me going through this whole craziness of not getting my materials that I want.
Your jacket and your girl piece.
Yeah.
Please keep us posted
I
about
will.
that because it's burning my bush now. I got to be honest with you.
I love it. I
Very
love that you do.
disappointed.
Oh my goodness! You can like Len's Burning Bush on Facebook. You can like us at Len's Burning Bush. So make sure you do that. Get some people to start subscribing to. I even have a YouTube channel. So what I do is, I actually take the audio portion of today's show and I'll put it on YouTube. It's kind of fun. There's a YouTube channel. You can type in Len Harvey and hashtag Len's Burning Bush, and you can find it. And I have a bunch of episodes up there already, but don't have all 71. You can listen to all of them on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Podbean, iHeartRadio. It's pretty much everywhere. Even Alexa will, if you just call your Alexa device and say, "Can you play Len's Burning Bush podcast?" Don't make sure you say
right.
podcast. You can actually do that. So there's a lot of ways to listen, and it's fun for me. It's good therapy. But thank you so much, Heather O'Rourke.
Thank you
You're
for
a
having me.
treasure. You are. And, tell your husband I'd like to have him on. We could do a baseball episode coming up
Oh
maybe,
my God.
and that
He
would be fun.
love it. He would
Yeah.
love it. And wait till you hear his voice. He's got a good radio
Oh,
voice.
hey.
He worked in radio, by the way. He
Oh.
was the radio guy.
Well,
Yeah.
they and everybody always, it's funny when they listen to me. What's
Mm-hmm.
funny is half the people will come back and say, "Len, you sound so professional. You sound like you're a radio voice."
You're like, I was.
I don't know what to say to that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's good that they're listening, right? It's good that they like to hear my voice, but I don't know. There's a lot of troubled people out there, and you know what? They're all listening to Len's Burning Bush, so I can't talk badly about them. We love them, and thank you for doing so. But Heather, it's a pleasure. Remember, again, you can like us on Facebook and Twitter at Len's Burning Bush. Thank you, Heather O'Rourke. I'm Len Harvey. We'll be back with another episode of Len's Burning Bush next week. So long.